Yeah, Preston, this UVA men's basketball team ended the regular season ranked #1 in the country. It entered this year's NCAA tournament as the #1 overall seed in the bracket. But now this UVA men's basketball team will forever be remembered as the 1 in 135-1, the first 1 seed to ever lose to a 16 seed in the NCAA tournament. The Virginia defense began the day giving up just 17 points and less than 300 total yards per game. Today, NC State put up 35 points on 433 total yards, including a season-high 176 on the ground. All right, welcome to Week 8 of Friday Night End Zone. He is Zach Francis. I am Damon Dillman, and let it be known, October 12th, Week 8, it finally felt like football season.
Man, didn't it feel good out there tonight?
North Carolina has come to JPJ 7 times since Tony Bennett took over as UVA's coach, and the Tar Heels have scored 70 points just once in those games. Today marked the second consecutive visit for UNC when they didn't even hit 50. UVA fans may still be a little bracket averse at the moment, but it's time for another one. The U.S. Quidditch Cup will be played later this month in Texas, and UVA is a 1 seed in that bracket. That's right. Quidditch, the fictional sport originally created in the Harry Potter books. All right, Grant, we appreciate the time.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you, sir, as always. Yes.
What's a wahoo?
Well, it's a fish, man.
Oh, okay.
Do your research.
Right.
Come on, Grant.
I know, I'm just asking.
Tonight also marks the official start to our countdown to the 2018 high school football season, the return of CBS 1916 camps. Now, we are almost in the shadow of Charlottesville High School, so it makes sense that the Black Knights would be the first team we check in on. Cavman, did you vote today? Cavman did vote today. Breaking news at John Paul Jones Arena now. This also marks the start of Tony Bennett's 10th season as head coach of the Cavaliers. He is 8-1 in his previous 9 season openers. The only loss in 2012 against George Mason. Try to extend that streak to 6 in a row tonight. We'll have updates for you 10 and 11 for now, live at JPJ with Cavman, Damon Dillman, CBS 19 Sports. But we had some really good football games tonight. We begin at Monticello High School with our Friday night end zone game of the week. Louisa trying to get to 7-0 for a 3rd consecutive season. They were visiting those Monticello Mustangs tonight. Opening possession, Monticello trying to punt it away, but it's blocked right to Derek Barber. He takes it in, and just like that, Louisa's up 7-0 early in this one. Louisa ball in the first quarter. Jared Hunter from 42 yards out. Outruns everybody and then gets to the pylon for the touchdown. First to 2 on the night for Hunter. It was 21-0 Louisa after 1. It was 28-0 in the second. Malachi Fields getting away from that Louisa defense into the secondary, across midfield, into Louisa territory, finally tripped up, but that's a gain of 43, and it sets up on 4th and goal from the 6. Fields rolling out into the end zone, and he finds Trenton Johnson for the touchdown, getting the Mustangs on the board 28-7 at that point. But at the other end, Rob Allender into the end zone. Aaron Aponte is there for the touchdown. 4-yard score there. It was a 35-7 game at the half. Third quarter from the 4. Robbie Morgan on the direct snap for the Lions. He fights his way into the end zone. His 2nd touchdown of the game. 42-7 Louisa at that point with the moving clock in the 4th quarter. Fields still moving. Gets into the end zone from 10 yards out. Mustangs put a couple up on the board late in this one. Made it a little more interesting at the end. 42-28 there you see is the final. Louisa does get to 7-0. Well, Zach, as you can see, we've kind of reached the aftermath here at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn. Over here you can see they're sweeping up the confetti that was falling from the sky earlier. Above me, there is a basketball hoop conspicuously missing its net. That is headed back to Charlottesville in small pieces with the ACC tournament champions. Now, things may be quiet now, but less than an hour ago, this place was rocking with UVA fans. This is what it looked like. UVA celebrating the 3rd ACC title in program history, the 2nd in the last 5 years after taking care of North Carolina tonight. Now, this is a UVA team that was unranked at the beginning of this season, picked to finish 6th in the ACC in the preseason poll, and the Cavaliers, well, they end the year on top of the league.
We didn't know what to expect because of the inexperience, but I knew they had a special unselfishness and chemistry pretty early on, And whether that would parlay into being, you know, an ACC regular season champ in a conference, you just don't know. But they've done some special things, and they're really fun to coach.
I knew it last year. You know, coming in with my freshman class, I knew we were talented, and even last year's team was talented, but this team, we just worked so well together. Just blessed to be here, and so excited for the seniors on our team and the whole group.
We're a family, man. It's not just out here. We're together all the time back home, and we love each other. These are my brothers forever, man, and I'm just happy.
It's amazing, man. It really is. To be what we were preseason, to tune out everyone and just work and stay united to accomplish this and the regular season is a big accomplishment. We got one more goal to do now.
Yeah, now the Wahoos await Sunday's announcement of the NCAA tournament bracket. UVA, unanimous #1 team in both polls, #1 in the RPI, now ACC regular season and tournament champions. It would be a surprise if the Cavaliers are not the #1 overall seed when that bracket is released tomorrow. Live at the Barclays Center, Damon Dillman, CBS 19 Sports.
Yeah, that's a pretty good segue right there, because you mentioned the history, you mentioned your playing days. It's become a Thanksgiving tradition when you're here with us in studio. We got the video again of 1998. Aaron Brooks to Ahmad Hawkins for the touchdown in Lane Stadium. The last time that it's been 20 years.
20 years.
Can you believe it's been 20 years since this happened?
I can't. And I always feel like I cursed the program in a way. Yeah, look at the throw slash.
Who's that young guy? Hasn't aged a bit.
Yeah, look at that. I mean, it's just one of the things I want these young men to experience what I experienced. Aaron Brooks basically hit me in the face. A lot of people don't realize I actually just caught it with my right hand and trapped it on my face mask. And that dude he's just a special quarterback.
Aaron Brooks?
Yeah, man. So that was poetic right there, because he was the main reason I came here, and he was the guy that I idolized.
Now, I think the deal we made last year was we're going to keep digging that out of the archives and showing it until the streak breaks.
Yeah.
Is this the year the streak breaks?
Hopefully we're done.
Chris McGarren led the Western Albemarle boys to their first ever state title game appearance last year. But now Virginia first year, McGarren has traded in his game jersey to become a manager with the UVA men's basketball program.
I've watched guys like Malik Frazier and some of the other walk-ons and managers, Green Machine guys before me and before us, and being able to be a part of it is really special.
Between managers and walk-ons, there's a lot of local flavor on this year's Green Machine. The veteran of that group is third-year Grant Kersey.
A lot of local kids, which is awesome, just because I know we all grew up coming to games, watching UVA games, and just like idolizing the program.
It's pretty cool. You know, we grew up playing together, so that's definitely a fun experience now.
Kersey and Katstra helped Albemarle reach the state semifinals for the first time in school history in 2016. That same year, Jaden Nixon and Matt Palumbo were on the St. Anne's Belfield team that reached the state semifinals.
I knew Grant well. I knew Jaden and Austin, I think, a little better because we played AAU together. And then Chris, we actually also played a year of AAU together as well.
I've been playing with Grant, Matt, Chris, playing with and against those guys since I've been a little kid. So being able to play with them with the UVA basketball team has just been a dream.
Now there are times in UVA practices when the Wahoos are matched up against 5 local guys.
They go so hard. Sometimes it gets annoying because we're like trying to go 75%, but they don't let us do that, and that's, you know, ultimately good for us.
We take a lot of pride in it, just doing our best to challenge the guys on the team however we can. Sometimes that's not much. They're, you know, one of the best teams in the country.
Oh, I love being on Green Team. I take pride in just simply being able to get our guys better. Like, I don't care about scoring or anything. It's just running what the other team runs and trying to prepare them as best we can is kind of an honor to even be here.
Those local players also take pride in representing Central Virginia.
Any kid growing up that really loves basketball in this area is going to look up to UVA's program. That's what I did, and that's what a lot of these guys have done. Every day I look around at the arena and I'm like, I hope I don't ever take this for granted, because it's an incredible experience.
I know a bunch of high school kids come to the games and like watch the games. See kids from this area come to like a big program like this and see like what hard work can get you far. Like, no matter what, you can always impact a program, and if you're there to serve, there'll be a spot for you to help out and create opportunities from there.
With the Wahoos, Damon Dillman, CBS 19 Sports. He's been a free agent for 2 off seasons now. Last spent a full season on the mound almost 6 years ago. But Danny Halston isn't ready to give up the game he loves.
I really don't want to, in 10 years, look back and say, I should have done this. I should have given it one more shot. I want to look back in 10 years and say I did everything I possibly could to make my dreams come true.
I know that it was tough, and I know that there were some really hard and dark places that he went through, but of all the guys I've ever played with, if anybody could come back from it, it would be him.
Halston's arguably the best pitcher in UVA history, a 3-time first-team All-American, 2-time ACC Pitcher of the Year, the program's all-time leader in both wins
and strikeouts.
When Danny and I were teammates in college, he was the best player I've ever played with by a landslide.
He was lights out. I mean, he was Nintendo good.
The Mariners took Hultzen second overall in the 2011 draft. He was in AAA by the end of his first full season. But then came the shoulder surgeries in 2013 and 2016.
When I got the news that I needed the second surgery, that was the roughest time, and that I considered not playing anymore.
It's like a father. You see your son hurting, you want to help him, and he's afar, and you can't quite reach out to him and help him.
Seattle released Hultzen after the 2016 season. He came back to Charlottesville and finished his UVA degree. He also started rehabbing with athletic trainer Brian McGuire. This offseason, Hultzen and Wilson worked out just about every day.
It really moves you emotionally when you can see somebody go through such pain for years and then to come out on the other side an even better person than he already was.
Throughout the whole process, there's a lot of doubts that slip into your mind about whether or not you're good enough to do this anymore, whether or not you can do this anymore. So you really, really learn the power of positive thinking and the power of believing in yourself.
Now Hultzen is back on the mound. On Saturday morning, he threw the third bullpen session of his comeback and hit 90 on the radar gun for the first time. The next step is to throw for pro scouts, which Hultzen hopes to be ready for in the next month or two.
We were joking, or I always joke with my wife about how it's going to be a 30 for 30 and to get in on it now while you can, because the sky is the limit for him and he's not going to get in his own way.
He's going to have a chance, I think, to put up numbers because he's healthy. And I think that's all that he would ever want, is a chance to show what I can do healthy.
I was telling somebody the other day, I just feel like a baseball player again, and that's a tremendous feeling. The thing I have to focus on, obviously, is getting healthy, and so I'm right where I'm supposed to be, and I feel really good with where I'm at.
If last weekend's Miami game was a signature win for the UVA football program, then today at Duke, the Cavaliers avoided a letdown loss. The Wahoos came in as a 7-point underdog, but they never trailed. They never turned the ball over, and now they're 5-2.
Surprising. If they're not surprised, they should be. If they don't believe in us yet, that's fine. We don't really care because we believe in each other. We can go as far as we want to.
This defense is we just all rely on each other and we complement each other. And so it's just so much fun to see, us having success, relying on each other and just playing for a bigger purpose than just ourselves.
Coming in, we were bigger underdogs for Duke than Miami. And so even after that win against Miami, we still hadn't necessarily earned a lot of people's respect. Earned, not given is huge, and so we feel like we've earned a lot of respect. And so when we think we earned something and it's not given to us, then we just keep working.
At 3-1 now in the ACC, the Wahoos are tied in the win column with Virginia Tech atop the ACC Coastal Division standings. UVA now plays its next 3 in a row at home, starting next Saturday at Scott Stadium against North Carolina. In Durham with the Wahoos, Damon Dillman, CBS 19 Sports. It can be hard to miss Vic So'oto on the sideline during UVA football games.
He's like that 24/7. There's not a dull moment, especially like during the games. Like you can see on the sideline, he's all over the place. He's breaking headsets. And especially like when we make a play, he gets crazy.
They probably think I'm crazy, but once you're out of the fire, once you're done playing, like you get close to it and you see guys that do what you've worked on. It just fires you up and it makes you get a little bit of feel of actually getting in there.
So'oto's in his 3rd season at UVA and his 2nd as defensive line coach. This year, he's been working with a young line that has relied on Alonzo, who's a true sophomore, plus a pair of true freshmen in Jordan Redmond and Aaron Fa'amui.
Doesn't really matter to me what their age is or what their size is. There's a standard that they got to play to, and I hold it to them, every day.
It's intense, but he's like family. Like he treats you like family, so like it's just awesome. You could tell he really cares about like each one of us, and like he's trying really hard to like get us to be better each and every day.
And these guys, I just love them so much and want them to do what they want to do, which is be great. Whenever they do anything good, even when they do stuff bad, you just got to praise them and help them and bring them along.
So'oto has also embraced the other job that comes with college coaching, recruiting.
I love recruiting. It's a battle. Like, you got guys that have 20, 30 offers, and, I see that as kind of being in the fire. I see that as a challenge.
He has to be able to, which he is, attract and bring great young players, especially defensive linemen, to our program. When this upcoming recruiting class is signed, I think you'll see that there's significant progress being made in that regard.
On Sunday, Indian River senior Ben Smiley announced his commitment to UVA. Smiley joins Jawan Briggs of Ohio as 4-star defensive tackles who have committed to playing for the Cavaliers.
and for So'oto.
Oh, it's like getting a sack when you're playing. It's nothing like it. And for me, it's really not recruiting, it's creating relationships. Because at the end of the day, I'm jumping up and down for all the guys because I love them. You know, and so when I find these guys out on the recruiting trail and, you know, create those relationships, and you want them here, you want them to do well, especially if they're really good players.
With the Wahoos, Damon, Dillman, CBS 19 Sports.